Yo, what's up guys, it's Boogie back again with a new video. In today's video, basically, I'm just going to be running through all the games on the weekend, what I thought of every game, and then running through my team list and seeing who I need to change, this and that, and yeah, just giving some NRL chat basically. Quickly, before I get into the video, I really want to shout out everyone that's been subscribing, liking. Thank you so much guys. I'm at 41 subscribers. I can't believe how much the channel has grown within legit only a couple of weeks, so I really appreciate you guys. You know, if there's anything I need to fix up on or anything like that, please leave a comment down below. Like, I appreciate all the comments and stuff. And I love a good chat to anyone. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you guys. So the first game of the weekend, we had the Panthers versus Seagulls, and that was a Thursday night game. Really took me by surprise the way the Panthers took over in this one. So 28-6. Most of it really came down to the Seagulls never really having too much possession into the Panthers 50, and then the Panthers just running over the top of the Seagulls forwards, and Sean O'Sullivan really reaped the rewards of being that halfback in that squad. If like Sean O'Sullivan's getting 76 points in a game like this, you know, imagine what Cleary could have got. So I'm excited to see Cleary back in the squad maybe in round 3. Hopefully he can continue on what he had last year, but you know, we'll have to soon see. Isaiah Yeo was really instrumental in the middle there. He took a lot of load off Sean O'Sullivan with, you know, getting everyone set where they need to be for the middle, and another player that reaped the rewards of it as well is Liam Martin, who I thought was definitely going to be in for a good year this year with Capewell going to the Broncos. So he really needed to step up, and he did with 66 points. You know, a try, obviously, you know, you probably can't get one every game, so that's 8 points off. But even then, you're averaging around 60. Like a line break there, tackles. He had 4 missed tackles, which is something I reckon he can fix up on, because he's one of those players that just 100% all the time. So definitely look up and up from there. DC, by stats wise, had a decent game for the Seagulls. I think a lot of that was kicking stats. Oh yeah, somewhat. 549 kick meters there with 18 points, getting it off that. But overall, I think the main things for the Seagulls was their attack when Tommy gets shut down and them not being able to breach the 50. Like there's not many other forwards like the Panthers forwards in the comp, so they should be fine. But overall, like, you know, these forwards should have been charging through and trying to get yourselves in a position where you can get attacking plays on. And as I said in the trials, when Tommy gets shut down, that's when we should see like the proper attacking sets out back and set plays that create opportunities there, instead of just Tommy being the one to create opportunities. So this year is going to be a little bit tough for the Seagulls, but I still see him in my top 8. I wouldn't go off this game to be in that. But the Panthers, it's pretty much just all chugging along. Like Stephen Crichton had a good game there. Dylan Edwards had a really nice game with the most meters gained with 344. A couple of little cheapies that played well, like Ethan Bullymore. I thought he played really well. Obviously snagging that try, but overall, you know, he needs to get these missed tackles down a little bit. 4 missed tackles was -8, but with the tackle breaks and obviously that try, that supporting try with Tommy, that's what got him points at 48. Maybe keep him in for another week until Schuster comes back. I'm pretty sure that comes either next week or the week after. So definitely keep him in your team if you want to raise that price and then sell him off for someone a little bit more consistent towards the end of the year. But you know, I like what I saw from him overall. And the Raiders and the Sharks, so that was the next game. It was a really close back and forth game. I thought the Sharks were real gritty. Definitely a good stepping stone for them to start the season, to go the way they did with the Raiders. If Hudson Young didn't run that really beautiful line to score that try at the end of the game there, the Sharkies would have won this one by 1 point. So it was one of those sort of games. You can't really pick, you know, and choose either one. Like maybe the Sharks should have maybe strengthen up their defense a lot of the times on their line, but I give all the credit mainly towards the Raiders attacking sets. I think they stripped them apart really well attacking wise. The Sharkies, you know, a couple of missed tackles here and there, but they'll be better and better with a coach like Fitzgibbon. You know, Teague Wilton scored really nicely for the price point at 68 points. Obviously scoring a try there, so take 8 away from that, he's got 60. You know, couple of missed tackles, which isn't too bad on the edge there. 4 tackle breaks, a line break. It's whether he can consistently hold this up. But from what I see from him, he's another one of those players at 110% all the time. He's always fighting for that starting spot, so I'd keep an eye on him during this year. Hudson Young for the Raiders is a good one there for 58 points. One missed tackle, like, you know, defensively he's really, really nice on the edge, but also snagging that try too, that, you know, if you take that away, you know, 58 points there with a line break and 26 tackles in the game, 4 tackle breaks, 124 meters, like, you know, he looked like he really wanted to take that starting spot into his own. So the Raiders are definitely looking all right this year. Like Whiten, I feel like is going to have a decent year, 56 to start with. I see more and more from him, especially when they get Fogarty back. I think they're going to be in really good stead. Only problem was they did have the big injury to Joshy Hodgson, so that kind of sucks. It looked like a somewhat of a knee injury, maybe ACL or something, so he's going to be out for a little, you know, unfortunately I feel sorry for Joshy. Coming back off a knee injury and going back out with a knee injury, that sucks. Chance looked really good, even though getting a score of 39. I think, you know, for his first game back at fullback, yeah, he looked really, really nice with a nice try there. This Schneider kid at 240k, I think he's going to be a good one to pick up and stay, like, hold with for a little bit. He'll raise that price from 240. He's going to be definitely averaging around that 30 to 40 mark. So I see his price going up and up and up. Definitely big ups there for the Raiders. For the Sharkies, like Nico had a decent game with 53. I thought he looked really, really nice as well. And he's going to be instrumental to this team attacking wise. And defensively, you got players like Dale Finucane that's always going to be there with 45 tackles. You know, no missed tackles. That's a great stat for him. And Blake Brayley, I thought, had a decent one as well, but also snagging that try. So it's whether they can consistently do this week in, week out. But, you know, this year's going to be it's so tough to get in that 8 this year. So, like, you know, we'll see during the games here. Like, fuck, man, I didn't expect a lot of these games. So, yeah, up and up for the Raiders. Sharkies, don't have your heads down. Like, you've played really well in this one. Now on to the Broncos and Rabbits. So I thought this game was a very gritty game. Even though his Supercoach score didn't score very well, or decently, Selwyn Cobbo with 34. Bro, whenever he touched the ball, he looks like a little firecracker. Like, he really took this game and said, this is my standout at the moment. Couple little errors because he is still a little bit green in that. And obviously in a wing position, he's not, you know, fully used to being in that wing position. Once he gets back at the fullback, man, like, he's going to be getting more touches on that ball. And I'm so excited to see how he runs it back. And obviously big players, obviously Payne Haas sitting there with 84 points. He's going to be sitting around this mark all year, basically, probably about 70 to 60 to 80. That's why I have him as my captain. But, you know, what more? He's such a class player this year. I thought Jai Arrett had a really, really nice game in this one. Only one missed tackle of 42 tackles, 4 tackle breaks, 120 meters. And his defense, like, he just brought that aggression for the Rabbits and really held everything together. You know, Albert Kelly had a really good one in this one. It really shined, and like now it makes that halves debate between him and Billy Walters to get that number 6 jersey. It makes it really tough. So at the moment, like, Billy Walters played a really good one as well with 55 points, and I feel like his competitiveness really held them into this game as well. So I would have him as 6 maybe, but then again, the dynamic of Kelly at 6 does look a lot better for the Broncos. I'm not too sure. Like, that's, you know, whichever way they go, I reckon they're going to be have a good year this year anyway. So we'll just have to see how the year goes ahead. Other players, obviously, Paddy Carrigan had a decent one with 55 points at that price range. I think he's going to be up and up and up from there. Like, no missed tackles, 32, you know, 190 meters gain. I thought he had a really, really nice game. 1 penalty, which definitely brought him down a little bit, but I'm seeing a lot of greens here and not a lot of reds. So Paddy Carrigan looked good. And Kurt Catewell, obviously that big buy for the Broncos last season, he definitely shined in this one, especially at the end to get that field goal. Like, you know, where have you been teaching? Like, where have you been practicing that one, Curty? But fuck, man, you killed it in this one. So yeah, if you got players like Kurt Catewell in your team, Paddy Carrigan, you wouldn't be too mad at this. Obviously, Payne Haas, you wouldn't be too mad. Jai Arrow, I see a lot of boys have as well, and I think he's definitely a good pickup for the price range. Broncos, they need to get a win like this to start the season to keep all the media off their back, and especially like when Reynolds comes back, you know, it's good to have a win under their belt, and so Reynolds doesn't have all the pressure in the world to come back into this team and perform the way he should. So one of the most surprising games of the weekend, I think everyone can agree here, is the Knights versus the Roosters. And overall, I thought the Knights looked really nice. Their spine, like their combinations through their spine looked amazing. There was that inside-outside ball No, it was a outside inside ball to Kalen Ponga that set up I think it was the second or third try. Like, they look really, really good in this one. The Roosters, I don't know whether it's just that slow start mentality sometimes the Roosters can have. So I believe during the end of the year they will be back up there. But I was more excited to see what the Knights like. I think I might have had them a bit too far low in my ladder prediction, honestly, and I can say that for a lot of other teams in this competition. But they really surprised me. Like Dane Gagai getting his 78 points there. A lot of it meters gain, like 200 meters gain in this one. Tackle breaks, he's getting them all day. One missed tackle, which is unfortunate, but you can let him have that with a try. All those meters gains, the tackle breaks, the line break assist. Like, he might be in for a fucking amazing year in this one, especially if he gets a nice ball off Clifford the way he was. Big games from Gagai, Fitzgibbon with 70. Frizzell looked really nice and damaging in this one. I think the main one for me was Clifford. Like, Clifford looked really, really good. He really took this team under his wing. Like, he's made this his team now, like from the halves position. Obviously, this is still Ponga's team, but I was really excited to see him play, and he looked really, really nice. So definitely keep an eye on him for 521. If you got him in your team, it's not too bad there. And I from what I've seen in the trials and what I've seen in this game, I think he's in for a big year this year. So keep an eye out for Jakey Clifford. And obviously, a lot of people getting Randall in your team. I didn't get Randall in my team. I probably should have with the way that my team had performed or whatever. But with 59 points for 350k, definitely a good player we picked on. Only one error. He had 50 tackles of no missed tackles. So like, that's a great effort from the second stanza hooker. Tedesco with 32. I didn't expect that, but again, I see him doing more and more. A couple of reds here, but Teddy with 150 run meters, like, he's got more to show, and I know that. So I'm gonna be holding sturdy with him until I really see something I don't like. But obviously it's Teddy; he's consistently there. So over to my Warriors. They play the Dragons on the weekend. Definitely an up and down game, especially for us. Like, I don't want to use the excuse of no second trial, but I knew we were going to be clunky with all the new combinations we had. Obviously, the biggest talking point for us as the Warriors is definitely our back line didn't really perform. I think combined we had about 12 errors or whatever from our backline players, which is just not acceptable. From a backline, we need consistency. We need you guys to run the ball back and then finish in the corners. Like, we don't need those little offload plays from the 5 meter line. He threw a crazy cutout that, didn't end up really bad for us, but it could have when Sloaney was pushing out on that line and nearly intercepted a cutout ball that he threw at a 10 meter line. Like, I think that was the biggest talking point of the game here with the Warriors. Like, we were our errors were in the worst positions possible, and that's caused like the Dragons to attack from the best position possible. And obviously that 28 points was Ravalawa really reaping the rewards of us just messing up within our red zone, trying to bring the ball back or trying to do something fancy to cheap out by getting over the 50. Like, we should do all the hard shit and let players like, Johnson and that control the game. And then when we get into the opposition half, we play Warriors football, which I was excited to see. We did play a bit more positive in attack. We were throwing the ball a lot more, and good kicking game. Joshy Curran, definitely a superstar, really, bro. Like, I'm so happy to have you in the squad. Like, consistency wise, he was always there. Like, 40 tackles, only one missed tackle. But 107 meters gain. Every time he touched the ball, he seemed damaging. I'm excited for him this season. And definitely if you pick him up for 675k, I don't see him really dropping too far if he's gonna, like, I've seen him play like this a lot, like, and more tries for his future too. So I can't really see him going down from here. I think the main thing Warriors fans, like, well, obviously with me and all that sort of stuff is, Chanel's definitely not a fullback. I'm excited to see what happens when Walshy comes back. I saw so many opportunities there where Chanel couldn't, jump on those opportunities the way that Walshy could. And there was a lot of positions in that game where I saw Sean Johnson hit that backline ball to Chanel and gone, if that was Walshy, like, I see a little bit more there. And that's nothing against Chanel either. I think Chanel's definitely, for me, I would have Chanel as my 6. and have Nikorima as my 14. I think a lot of people say the same thing. It's unfortunate for Nikorima because he wants to play in the halves, but yeah, like I would have Chanel as my 6. Defensively, he's there. Obviously, we played him at this game because we didn't have Walshy, but we had players like Watini Zalesniak we could have played at fullback and brought in Pompey or something for the wing or centre position. So it really didn't make sense to me, but you know, I wouldn't hold it against Chanel. He definitely held down the spot, just didn't perform as a fullback. He performed as a halfback playing fullback. Overall, if you want to talk about players that played really well, Ravalawa was 67 with 3 tries. Obviously, depending on how much, you know, he can score off tries every time. Like, you know, he could be a rocks and diamonds type player. So I don't really see him for that 582. I couldn't pick him up for that price, but you know, great game from him. He just looks so damaging. Eli Katoa, definitely one of those players I said from the start of the season. I'm fucking so excited for us to have him on that edge with Sean Johnson. Definitely saw that with his first try of the season, with that short ball that hits the lines, like Bodine Thompson vibes, honestly. Like, he's going to be there all season. Ewan Aiken really held down that other spot there. Like, it's going to be tough to see where Tohu comes back into this team, whether he comes into Ewan Aiken's side and push Aiken to center or maybe Aiken to a bench spot. I couldn't push Eli Katoa out of that squad. Like, we need a damaging wide forward on that side. And he only had 1 missed tackle there, which I think was a really, I can't remember where he missed that tackle, but like with 3 tackle breaks, 1 line break, 31 tackles, 114 meters. I see a lot of more upside there from Katoa. Aiken, I definitely would slot him back to center and he would kill it just as well. So there's a lot of versatility in I see from us, and I'm really excited for us this year. And with the Dragons, like, you know, Jackie Bird had a really good game. Zachy Lomax looks fucking amazing coming into center spot. Sloan, I wouldn't be mad if you had him in your squad. 43, it's not too bad, like, but you know, he will get more and more opportunities through the year. He's that talent, like he's one of those talented sort of players that will pop up and score a lot more tries and stuff. So I'd keep him in my team if I had him. Sean Johnson, like, his kicking game was really, really nice in this one. 504 meters and kicks, but a couple of little errors in that and 5 missed tackles. I think, you know, he's got more and more to show this year. Obviously, first game back from last year. He hasn't played a game in a little bit and didn't get to play in that trials. So I would give him a pass mark on this one. But when we had him on the field, we looked so much better. Like, we just looked so much better in attack. So I'm excited for us this year. Obviously not the win that like we wanted to get. Like, we didn't get a win there, but you know, I see promising signs there. I just need to see improvement from us within our half. Like, you know, when we're in the other half, like, you know, I can deal with errors and that because we're the Warriors. We play Warriors football, offloads, this and that. It's those silly little errors that we have in our game from our wing spot that I never, you know, we never really had last year or the year before. But then again, last year and the year before, we didn't have that attacking flair. So we need to find that balance. And defensively, I'd say we had an okay defensive game, mainly because we had the pressure of the Dragons being in our 20 for most of the game. So I wouldn't really hold us against that. I thought overall, if we didn't have them in that half, we had a good defensive game. We scrambled really well. So I wouldn't hold us against that one. So I think we got to up and up from here. The Dragons look really, really good this year. They just need to stay consistent throughout the game. We'll quickly squeeze past all these games here. I'll give them a little quick talking points and stuff, and we'll keep moving on. But so we had the Tigers and the Storm, and the Tigers started out really, really amazing in this game. I thought they played really, really well for, you know, a team that no one really had any raps on this year, and I thought they played really, really good. I think the main reason for that was a player that's obviously didn't score too well, but I thought Hastings was a big deal in this one. Like, he really helped everyone play to the standard that they should. Like, Brooksy had a really good game because he didn't have any of the pressure on him to be that halfback. And, you know, 57 points for Brooksy is pretty good. Jerome Hughes, if you had him, you know, obviously 71 points is amazing. I think he's in for a massive year this year. So if you do have him to start the year, well done. Like, you guys have picked a good one here. 3 missed tackles. I don't see that too much from him later on in the year. 1 error. But everything else pretty much is all amazing signs for Hughesy. Otta Ikamanu played really, really nice with 40 points. Again, I see a couple of reds here, but like I see him getting better and better during the year. Tuolangi for me looked really, really nice. And again, a couple of missed tackles there, but there's a lot of green here, and I think he's going to be in for a good year. Papenhuyzen, first game back with 44. He's going to get further and further up. Obviously, no try there, but try assists. Obviously, 2 try assists, 1 line break assist, 4 tackle breaks. You know, he's going to be in for a massive year, and that mullet is fucking amazing. So into the most like craziest game of the weekend, like the first half of this game, I didn't really get to watch too much of it, but whenever I was checking my phone to see the updates and stuff, it was just another try and another try and another try. Like it was back and forth. Both teams played fucking crazy attack, but defensively, you know, there was, I don't know whether to hold that to, because both teams attack wise is fucking amazing. And defensively, not too good. Like we're seeing so much red in this column here for missed tackles. But overall, if you're a Titans fan, you know this from last year. You're one of those teams that could like attack with the best of them. So obviously, gives me worrying signs for our next game with the Warriors. Like I hope we don't give you too much ball within that 20, and like, you know, you could put fucking 50 on us if you really wanted to, like you did like the end of last year. And with the Eels, like overall, your attacking team, like Mitchell Moses looked fucking awesome in this one. Like beautiful cutout balls. Isaiah Papali'i with 59, like he's becoming a real damaging edge that fucking we let go. But I never saw this from Papali'i in the Warriors. It's just, you know, going to the Eels, probably a better system, and he's just like put in position to shine. Big David Fafita and Tino with both like around that 40 to 50 role. Like, you know, David will get a couple of more tries onto these stats here, so I could see him pushing up to that 60. And Big Tino, like, you know, defensively, you know, 1 missed tackle on that, but he went through a lot of work, 1 error there too, but I thought he was really good in the middle there. You know, overall, I think it's a big year for both of these teams. Brian Kelly looked really nice. Will Smith, obviously 39. Marnie with 36. I don't see him holding 36 too much. Like, I see him going further and further up. Will Penasini, someone I had in my team with 32. First game of the year, like, I wouldn't hold that against him. Obviously, ding up against him was a player that scored the worst in the weekend, Paddy Herbert, but Paddy defensively usually like holds down that center spot really well. So give him a couple more weeks, Penasini will definitely shine. I promise you that. And with the last game of the weekend, we had like pretty much just a grinding, like, you know, some people say boring, some people say, you know, this and that. Like the first half in this game was really a tough watch. There was a lot of drop ball, a lot of errors and that. And also like an 8-1 penalty count against the Doggies. So I don't know if you can all say that all discipline wise, like, you know, surely there was something in between there, like the Cowboys should have got pinned for, but, you know, we keep moving on anyway. But obviously Tommy Gilbert played really well. Obviously that try helped him out a lot. A couple of his tackles, run meters and stuff like that. But overall, I thought he had a decent game. Luke Thompson shoring up that forward position for the Doggies. I think he's instrumental to them having a great year this year. Definitely not a crazy game to watch. Like, I think big shiner was Nanai for me, for 350k for 56 points, and I definitely see him continuing that on. I didn't see too much from him that wasn't like, you know, he runs amazing lines on that edge. Every time he got the ball, he poked his nose through. So I'd be watching out for him this year. I might actually find a spot for him in my team by the looks of it this year. So yeah, just to end off the video, we'll quickly run through my team and how we scored on the weekend. So basically, number 1, Brendan Smith getting injured with 2 points. That's really unfortunate. I don't know how long he's out for, but with a broken hand, he'll probably be out for a decent amount of time. So one of my trades would definitely have to be going to him leaving this year. You know, Victor Radley getting injured. Hopefully he's back next week. If not, I'll have to switch him out with someone to fill in that spot. Kobe Hetherington's back off COVID protocol this week, so he should be playing this week coming. Snyder looked really, really nice there, so I might like switch him in for Ilias for a little bit and let Ilias like sit on the reserves for a little bit, bring him up a bit and see how he goes for the weeks coming. I thought Schneider had a really, really nice game in this one. The most ones I was proud of, obviously, Payne Haas, when you have him as your captain, obviously amazing, 168. Adam Fanor-Blake, you know, he had a couple of moments in that game where he had a couple of errors and stuff, but I don't see too much of that from him. Like, I think, you know, he's up and up from there. He had an amazing break in this game where, you know, he ran pretty much 50 meters in the field, and that's what he's capable of, but he's also capable of shoring our forward pack. So Give him a couple of more weeks, he'll be averaging around that 50 to 60. Katoa getting 59 is amazing. As I said before, running those short ball lines off Sean Johnson and just holding up that edge. Liam Martin, 66. I thought 100% effort player, and I'm happy with that 66 score line. I think he's going to be there and thereabouts all this year, so I'll definitely keep him in my team. Nico Hines for 53. I appreciate that from Nico. He was just my fill-in for this week because obviously Kiri jumped out, and I was just like, well, who at a cheap, like decent price point can I just slot in there? So Nico got that spot and didn't disappoint me at all. So now it's just finding out who will fill in this other spot, or maybe who do I switch around to fill in some other spots there. But you know, great work from Nico. Ilias, I'm gonna hold on to him as much as possible for that price range. You know, 20 points. I can only see up and up from him. Basically, he didn't have the best game, but he didn't have the worst game either. Like, he just wasn't really there. Like, he was doing everything he was supposed to do. So I see a lot more from him. As I said, I'll probably switch him out to my emergencies, but I recommend anyone that has him, just keep him for a little bit. Like, you know, it's the first week of football. You never know how these teams will perform 3 weeks from now. So keep him in. Stephen Crichton with 57. I thought he played amazing. I'm definitely keeping him for 350k, like 57 points. Like, that's fucking amazing from him. Definitely with the try and just so dynamic on that center position. As I said with Penasini, who the Eels got this week coming? The Eels got the Sharks. I could possibly see Penasini maybe having another 32-point game against the Sharks, depending on, so like Ramian's on that opposite side, who's on the side? Mulatalo. So he might be able to actually do in Mulatalo quite a bit in this game. So I'll hold on to him for 350k. 32 points isn't too bad. Obviously, when you see, Tedesco with 32 points, I see up and up from him. Like, I don't think he averages that most of this year. Coatsy was, he kind of shined more so towards the end of that game. The start of that game, I don't think there was too many Storm players that did shine other than Jerome Hughes. So I'll hold on to him with 330k with 22 points. Not too bad, but I see a lot more from him coming this year. And Rocco, for me, he played really, really well on that edge, just obviously not getting all those Supercoach points. But, you know, I see a lot more promise out of him. I'm going to hold on to him as much as possible. Maybe I could find another position, like hold him in emergency and put someone else in that position. But like, Rocco's got that potential for me and didn't really make a wrong step in the games on the weekend. So I'm definitely keeping him in that position. And obviously the boys on the bench, Bullymore with 48, Tago with 61, who I thought played really, really nice. If everyone should have got Tago to start that season. Like, he played amazing for me. And obviously with that dual position player, like, you know, I could slot him into my edge player and figure out, you know, where everyone else fits in his team. So I'm so happy to have him in my interchange. 61 points is fucking amazing. I just see his price going up and up. Penne with 25, not amazing in this one, but we didn't use him to his full potential in this game. And this game was a very like feeling out type of game for us. So I see him getting better and better this year. And Wishart with 31 points because of an injury there. He had to slide into hooker to start up with, which was, you know, the way I kind of saw it should have been. But, you know, Brendan Smith started as hooker. I expected Wishart to start as hooker and use someone like Brendan Smith as a 13. But, you know, with 31 points at 220k, like there's a little bit more I could see from him within the coming years. Obviously, no one really performed well other than Hughesy and a couple other players for the Storm in that game. So 31 points, not too bad. And in my emergency, Billy Walters with 55. His price is going to skyrocket hopefully this year if he keeps that number 6 spot. And then Schneider, I thought was really, really nice in that other spot there for the number 7 for the Raiders. So as I said, I'll probably switch one of these 2 players out for Ilias for now and then figure out everything else. And I've still got 507k in my salary remaining. So one of my trades could be a decent one. I'll have to see how the year plays out. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the team, how they come out with 772. Definitely could have been better, but you know, we're into another week of fantasy. We'll see what the team lists come in. Again, this year is such a hard year to predict. I don't think anyone really expected some of the scores in this one. Like obviously, if you said that, a lot of people I'm seeing has got three tips right probably from their tipping. So you know, it is what it is. But again, It's your boy Boogie. Thank you so much for everyone that's been supporting my channel. On Wednesday, I should have a team list video and basically how my team's going to run into the weekend. So I hope you guys enjoy all the videos that I'll be producing right now. You know, later on in the year, I want to try and get some UFC tips and stuff like that, and I'll figure out a way to find time for all that sort of stuff. But you know, hold sturdy. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe. Peace out.